Welcome to another episode here in A&A Mustangs. Today I'm going to be working on the Coyote Swap 71 Challenger RT Special. Not a Hemi on it. And we're going to be doing some Hooker 3-inch exhaust system on it. Blackheart. So what I got here is the Holley, well, Holley sells it. They probably make this stuff, but it's a Hooker Blackheart E-body Mopar Gen 3 Hemi swap system. It's a 3-inch 304 stainless steel exhaust system. And so I got it laid out here on the floor. This is practically how it's gonna be under the car. Only difference is this is made for a Gen 3 Hemi swap engine with the Hooker Blackheart Hemi swap headers. So the only difference is here where it goes to the collector and the Hemi swap headers, you're just gonna, you use these. On mine, it has a kind of like a ball flange back there. So we're gonna lay out the whole exhaust and then see up front here. So if it's long enough, I'm just gonna cut those headers and we can slip this over it. I already measured it, it's about 3 inches. If it's not long enough, then I'll order some ball flange collector, and then that would give me, probably about 6 inches to extend it, and I can buy another piece of tubing. I'm thinking I'm not gonna need to extend it, but we'll see once we get there. So we're gonna get started, go under there. I think we have to find a place to mount like the hangers. There's these, and then there's a couple more up there. You know what, I just realized though that, well, yeah, there's 4 rubber hangers. Maybe these go to the car for 2 of those pieces, and then
the rubber.
I'm guessing the other 2, either maybe the car is supposed to have the hangers, but I don't think this car has anything.
Well, there's those.
There's this bracket unless you bolt one of the, we'll see, I guess we'll figure out once we get there. I might have to, I do have some universal hangers, although these are way thicker, that I might have to use or buy, but we'll see how this goes in there. A bit of progress on the exhaust installation here. So a couple things that you do have to do is drill a couple holes kind of right in between where the old hanger was. I believe this was where the old hanger was, which I think I still have those somewhere. But you drill those holes 13/64ths, and we're gonna put this new hanger. It does come with like cell tapping screws. So once you put them in there, you kind of start making the threads. So I'm gonna put that in there, and then that's where the kind of the tailpipe section is gonna hang. Junior is putting the other hanger up there, so that one gets bolted by the rear seatbelt bolts. They give you 2 bolts that are longer, like this one here, so they go through all the way, and then you can bolt that. What I'm choosing to do is bolt them backwards, so that from the bottom up. And that way, when I put the seat belts, they come with the nut, so I can actually just put the nut on top and bolt on the seat belt. I think it's kind of the same thing. The only thing is, if I did them the other way, and then when I went to put the seat belt, because I don't have the seat belts on there, I was gonna have to remove that whole bolt with the hanger. Where if I do it this way, I can just put the nut on top to put the seat belt, and it'll make it easier. If I ever do have to remove this hanger, I do have to remove the seatbelt regardless. But we'll cross that bridge if we ever get there. There's not really probably going to be a reason for me to remove the hanger, because you can just take the exhaust off from the hanger, right? So I'm going to do it that way, but it's supposed to be backwards. So if you're doing it on like a regular, your car that's all put together, you can do it the right way. So now that I drilled these, I'm gonna bolt those hangers here. We're gonna start hanging the exhaust. I'm gonna bolt these down, and then I'll show you once we start bolting the exhaust down. On the front, I think we do have enough pipe, except the factory midsection is farther in than what my headers are. Anyways, my headers are farther apart, so I may have to cut that little piece and make it fit, but we'll find out here in just a moment, see what we need to do. For now, we're gonna hang everything here on the back, because everything here should bolt same as factory, even with the exhaust tips, and then we'll see how it looks. And by the way, these are the exhaust tips that come with this kit. Really nice. Factory style. They do say Hooker Blackheart on there, but they're supposed to fit right here on the factory location here for the Challenger, so it's gonna look all factory. We'll see how they fit. I might want to leave them sticking out a little bit more than flush, but we'll see how it ends up fitting. But really nice built exhaust tips that it comes with, so looking pretty good so far. Okay, so update on the exhaust here. We have it pretty much all on there. Got those hangers. I did have to move the hanger backwards a little bit because of the way everything was fitting. If I would have left it in that spot where I had it at first, it wasn't really gonna work out. They're kind of just hanging there for now. We started working towards the front because we're gonna pretty much work our way from the front to the back. As we tighten everything, you know, you move the pipes to angle them right around the axle and everything, and then tighten them. I'll probably still also do a little tack on each just to hold it in place, make sure it doesn't spin. And then here on the back, I can also cut the tip or this pipe so the tips go in, because as of right now, they would stick out quite a bit. I mean, I don't know, I might leave it that way, who knows. But up front, we installed the mufflers, or in the middle mufflers, H-pipe or X-pipe. And quite honestly, what I ended up doing was cutting the header flange, because the header has 3" right there. And we just cut this middle pipe on both ends, the X-pipe a little bit. And so this side, it fits perfectly like factory, I would say. Those clamps are ready to be tightened down. The only one that was a little bit more difficult was on the driver's side. So on this driver's side, I did end up, we did cut the flange as well, just pretty much the end, a little bit extra pipe. So this is how much we cut off the header. It fit. We cut some off the X pipe, and then this mid pipe, I did cut the ends, but to get the angle, I cut about half of this to here. That way it would go shorter, but also this one, because before it was kind of angling out. Now this is, it's not all the way tight, but it's pretty tight. That one's pretty tight, and I just have to weld this back together. So I'm just gonna put like 3 tacks so it doesn't move, bolt it off, and then weld it all the way around, and it's pretty much gonna fit like it was supposed to fit on the factory Hemi swap header. So that's good. I didn't have to buy anything, just a little bit of modification, but not too bad. The headers or the exhaust fits pretty good in there. It's pretty tight up against the body. I mean, it is gonna hang a little bit, pretty much like any exhaust does. It's not gonna hang lower than this header here, which I know I talked about raising it up, which if I do raise it at, you know, at some point, it's gonna raise the whole exhaust with it. And I do have like 4 inches here, all the way to go up. So as of right now, I mean, you know, this is the lowest part of the exhaust. I am gonna, I think once I weld this and we put it back, we're gonna put a jack here on the X pipe and raise it maybe 2 inches before we tighten up the clamps. Hopefully that that leaves it at that spot raised, and you know, it gives more clearance underneath. But overall, everything looks good. So I'm just gonna tack this here, take it off, weld it all the way, and then we'll put the jack there. The other thing I may do is get another set of hangers, and either right in this bracket here do like a small hanger just so it holds this front part, because there's no hangers until behind the mufflers, and then it's just hanging up from the headers up here, which most exhausts do that on a lot of cars that don't have anything from, especially on the older cars, all the way from your exhaust header all the way to back there. I think on my 67 I ended up putting some hangers in the middle, just that way there's more support other than hanging from the actual header. So I may do that around this area, maybe right up here though, that way I can still take this out with no problem. I may have some hangers. If I do, I'll do that right away. If not, I'll have to order some. But we're gonna do that next, and then I'll check, you know, I'll give you an update once everything is all welded together. Ahead and tying up everything. So there's the exhaust. We did lift it up with the jack here a little bit. I do have those hangers that I'm gonna place, I think, right around this area right here. I just need to tack them in just as an extra support, but overall pretty good clearance. On the 4-link it was a little bit tight back here, so, but that's obviously that's not the factory suspension on this car. If you have just your leaf springs, it's gonna fit perfect. We still made it work. It's just pretty tight around, you know, the coil spring and the 4-link on top, but it's still on there. And then we got the exhaust all the way back here. We don't have the tips on because if I put them on right here, they do stick out like 3 inches on the back, which Junior doesn't want me to leave them that way. So
it's on a hot boy status.
I do need to cut this pipe here a couple inches so it goes back, but I don't have a good blade for my salsa, so we're gonna do that later. But it's just really a matter of cutting that and putting the tips in there. So overall, everything went good. On this side is where I cut the pipe there and then welded it. I just put some black paint so it doesn't rust or anything, but that made it fit perfect with the header and the X pipes. So it fit great. I didn't need to buy a flange or anything. Everything's pretty good. So exhaust is on there. Again, that's the tips that we have to put in there, but we just gotta clean up, and then that's it on the exhaust. So I don't know what the next thing would be. Probably to get the cooling system all set up, alternator in, quite a bit of work, but as of right now, technically I could probably drive it. I just gotta get some coolant in there. So probably next video I'm gonna try to get that in there, put it on the ground, and then see if the transmission, you know, goes to reverse drive and everything, and then go drive it. So, oh, and the seat. I still haven't done the seat, so I gotta do that. So I think that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. You have any questions, comments, leave them below. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any episodes. See you later.